Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to the live talk show Coffee with Mickey, episode 9. And we are really glad today, after many requests to the Masters of the Automobile Industry, RTO, we have today here our guest, Mr. Philip Charlton, who is the Chief Operation Officer for Oceania College of Technology. Thank you, Philip, for taking the time out to come here.
Pleasure, Mickey. Thank you.
As I said, after many requests, we finally managed to get him here to come and talk on my live talk show today. So, as Philip is already here, so guys, if you have any questions about Oceania College, as you know, they master in automobile industry. They are an RTO with expertise in automotive light vehicle and diesel technology. And are we, Philip, also offering panel beating at the same time?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So we not only diesel but the heavy truck as well.
Sure.
So heavy vehicles, panel beating
Yes.
at level 3 and level 4.
Sure.
And that's a growing area all round. So it's quite exciting.
Absolutely. So, I believe Oceania College is also involved in some motorsports. I keep seeing some ads.
Yes,
now
we
and then.
we have our own race car.
Oh,
And
okay.
the guys are racing this weekend at Jamboree in Sydney. We've just reconditioned the car because when you have a race car, it comes under a lot of stress points, and the gearboxes, etc., can only be used so many times.
Yes.
For a while there, we held the Australian speed record for our category of car.
Okay.
And so we're looking to try and reclaim that this weekend,
Absolutely.
weather permitting.
Fingers crossed we should be able to do that. And I remember last time I went to the college and I saw one of the race cars. It was absolutely amazing. You couldn't get a better view of it. Sitting inside that car feels amazing. You're actually in a race car, and Oceania actually races in motorsports as well.
Well, not only do we race, but obviously it's a very small community, I suppose.
Yes.
Everybody knows one another, and so we help a lot of other people out. So they come and use our workshop and repair their cars,
Right.
or the fine tuning, and we have what we call a dyno there, which allows the fuel mixture for the engine to increase the speed, etc. So while all this is going on,
Yes.
our students are there.
Students are there working on it.
Even though the students are maybe doing what I would call commercial vehicles, the light vehicles,
Mm-hmm.
when you have this buzz in the workshop and different people coming in, it gives it a different perspective. It's, wow, this is...
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's
This
a
is like-
different vibe.
This is like working on your computer and Bill Gates walks in, sort of thing, It's a bit different,
Yes.
And so sometimes the students get insights into things which go on, which they may not normally get an exposure to,
Yes.
and it helps them then go, so if I do this, then I can go on to do this. I mean,
Motorsport
yeah,
activities, yes,
I mean,
absolutely.
it's not always possible for us to find students their dream jobs,
Yes.
but we can help them get their first job, and then when they work hard and they gain experience and they create their own network, that enables them to go and find their dream job, basically,
Absolutely amazing. So it's not just about working as a mechanic. When you are studying automotive, you could get into motorsport equipment and get into the industry further deep inside it, and Oceania is the one who can help you get there. So guys, we'll move on to discussing more about Oceania College and their courses. So the good news is that Oceania College, who are based out of Brisbane, and they have got a couple of locations in Queensland and New South Wales. So how many campuses do you have, Philip?
We have 3 campuses now. So we have Brisbane, Gold Coast and Sydney. I hear a lot of talk about the COVID crisis, etc.
Yes.
But it's really been quite strange. The automotive industry, our car prices in Australia have gone up. Our second-hand retail values have gone up, and we've got dealerships. We train their staff where there's actually a 3, 6 and 9 month waiting list for new cars.
Absolutely, we
and
all
so
know that.
Though we were quite fortunate, we put in plans to manage COVID, and so we didn't close our colleges at all during the whole of the COVID. So none of our students were disadvantaged; they could all attend classes.
Yes.
We made provisions that it was smaller classes, and from that the students actually got a better training because it was smaller classes. So not quite one-on-one, but smaller classes. We redesigned our workshops to allow that practical activity, because when you come into an industry like this, what we call a trade industry,
Yes.
you really want it to be hands-on, because though there's a theoretical concept, you're judged on what you can actually physically
Absolutely.
do. And what we find is the students, when they know how to do the physical side of it, they can answer
A
the
lot
theory
more
side of it
theory
as well.
questions easy.
So that way it's been, and what we found is during the last 16 months, we've actually grown. And so we opened Sydney
Within the
six
COVID.
weeks before COVID became a word, and we went, oh, what have we done? But we've actually grown that now to over 150 students.
Wow.
So
during
that's
COVID.
pretty impressive in a COVID. And we opened the Gold Coast at the beginning of this year, and that's just starting to take off now. So that's been really encouraging as well.
So
and-
as you heard, guys, 3 campuses: Brisbane, Gold Coast, and Sydney, and still growing. So maybe Melbourne is next. You never know. On the list.
We will look at that, Melbourne and probably Perth as well. But we want to make sure these get
There
up
you
and
go.
running. And it's also important for us to build our local networks when we open a new campus, because it's from the educational point, but we want to make sure we have our students connecting with the local car dealerships, the local workshops, etc.,
Absolutely.
to provide provisions for jobs, etc. then as well.
Thank you very much, Philip, for the introduction there. As you heard, guys, a lot of campuses, a lot of growth opportunities within the industry with the current car prices going up, shortage of labor in the automobile industry. Here's an opportunity for you to study automotive if you're not already studying automotive, which obviously has a pathway towards 485 visa and other permanent residency visas like 491 and 190. Oceania College is actually a level 1 provider, which means their quality of education is regarded highly, and it comes on an assessment level 1 with the immigration department as well. And Oceania will be accepting offshore applications as well starting now. Oceania College will accept applications from almost around the world, but our specialization in the subcontinent market. So if you are in Sri Lanka, India, Nepal, Pakistan, Vietnam, Philippines, and you wanting to study automotive, this is one of the best options for you to study automotive. Now, Philip has come up with a solution for those students wanting to study, and while they are offshore and wanting to apply for a student visa. Would you like to introduce your money bank guarantee offer, Philip?
Look, we understand people at the moment with borders closing and so on.
Absolutely.
It's a little bit confusing, really, because we still have 10,000 people a week arriving in Australia at various ports, but the government, from maybe a political point of view, says the borders are closed, but people are still coming in. What we do realise is flights are very expensive now at the moment.
Yes.
So that's put a lot of people
yes.
off. But we want to encourage people. We've tried to support our education agents. We've supported our students that way. So we're now taking offshore applications from students.
Yes.
And obviously we take 4 intakes a year normally: January, April, July and October.
Right.
If there's a delay, we can backfill into those, but we normally try and keep that so we have a pathway then for the students to undertake their study. What we're now doing, we've opened applications, we've done for October, but for January as well. And what we're guaranteeing is if the visa isn't approved, it's
Yes.
100% money back guarantee.
Right.
If the visa takes a little bit longer, or there's delays due to borders
not
or
opening.
or right down to flights being too expensive.
Absolutely.
You know, because I looked at some flights the other day, and normally a flight, what would cost me in normal times, and I'm not quite sure what normal times are now, Mickey, would cost me $2,500 is up over $10,000.
Yes.
Now, if I was a parent for my children, or even me travelling, I'd go, I don't want to pay $10,000. I'm going to wait till they come back to a sensible price. So
that's correct.
So straight away, it's 100% money back guarantee if the visa's refused by the Australian consulate. If there's a delay in travel, so let's say we've given a COE, confirmation of enrolment, for January, and the flights are too expensive still, and the student lets us know, not on the day, but beforehand, we will automatically defer that to the next available intake. And that will still be guaranteed, so they'll have their place. And
is there going to be any penalties for these international students to defer it to the next intake?
Not from us. Obviously, from their visa point of view, if they have to extend their visa, then that's
at the end of the 2-year period.
But from us, no. There would be no additional costs or anything that way. It's just letting us know, and we would just defer accordingly.
As you heard, guys, there's no reason why we should not apply for an enrollment with Oceania College. They're trying to help as much as they can to international students who are offshore and wanting to come and study in Australia, an automotive course. A 2-year package, of course, which allows you to get a post-study visa for 1.5 years if you study a diploma course in Australia. The 2-year package will cost you $20,500 all inclusive as a package for the 2 year of the course duration. And you can contact us at Cirrus Migration at any of the numbers below, or send us an email, and we'll be more than happy to look at your scenario case by case and see if you're eligible to apply for a student visa for Australia, and we'll take it from there.
Mickey, well, I'll just add to that as well. What we're also doing, sorry I never said this to you, is if the application comes from the student, we want to keep that application cost to the student and to the parents low. So we're going to say $500 for the initial application, fully refundable. Once the visa's approved, then it's a 10% deposit within 30 days.
That's good news. Oh, that's a shocking news.
Right, so
amazing.
We understand everybody is still a little bit fearful around the world on what's happening. So this way, it's 100% guaranteed. There's no risk. You could apply. If you then go, I'm a little bit, quite honestly, at this point in time, if you were going to go and study anywhere in the world, wouldn't it be Australia? We've got no local transmissions at the moment. Look,
and we don't have many COVID cases in Australia. It's a safe place to be, and the future is in Australia if you want to study in Australia. Sydney, we had a news last week from the NSW government that they would be looking at doing some charter flights or incoming international students into New South Wales very soon, maybe in July or August. So get yourself prepared if you want to be in that list of students coming to Australia. As you heard Philip, $500 for the application, and you can apply for your visa with just $500 COE deposit. And if your visa is granted, you will have to pay 10%, which is approximately 2,000 Australian dollars towards your first tuition fees, and the balance you can come and pay once you are here in Australia, I guess.
That's it.
So you can hold on to your confirmation of enrollment, and if you wish to study online, if there are options available, you're more than welcome to. And if not, if you want to come here, you can wait for the borders to open, and at least you have a guarantee that you have a visa in hand. So don't wait for the floodgates to open for international students to come into Australia, because when it does, there'll be a big rush of students applying, and there could be many refusals coming through, or it could be delayed, the process, and you're increasing your study gap, which is not good. So if you are in the process of applying for an international diploma or degree, now is the time. Don't waste your time and increase your study gap, which will not be a very good idea for your SOP or the GTE that we have to provide to the immigration department for your student visa.
Mickey, I'll just add to that as well. So
absolutely.
Obviously the students paid for their application, and then once the visa is approved, they pay the deposit.
That's right.
The rest of the money doesn't need to be paid till they're in Australia.
Yes.
And then we take that balance. So let's say the course was $20,000. They've now paid $2,000. The balance is $18,000. We take a straight line. Let's say the course is 18 months. It's then $1,000 a month.
monthly installments, so you don't have to pay the semester fees.
Nope.
That's very good for offshore students wanting to study in Australia. Absolutely amazing offer for you guys out there. Can't get any better.
That's because the coffee's so good. See, that's
Thank you very much, Philip. So kind of you. Now we will talk about onshore students, those students who are already in Australia and are on a student visa or 485 visa or a bridging visa, and wanting to study a certificate 3 in light vehicle motor technology course in a fast track option, because we all know that you would have to complete a job ready program after you finish your certificate 3. So if you're studying masters or bachelors and you want to study this concurrently as a parallel course to prepare yourself towards your permanent visa, the options are available with Oceania, where you can finish this course in less than a year, around 50 to 52 weeks, fast track your certificate 3 in light vehicle. And the cost for this they've come up with an amazing offer for only $9,500 to complete your course in less than a year and apply for your job ready program straight away. So if you are already on a 485 visa or a bridging visa and you want to prepare yourself, get in touch with us and we can find you a solution for that as well. Now, most importantly, as you heard Philip, they've got diesel as an option as well. Diesel is a favorable course. A lot of students are studying light motor vehicle, but not many engaged in diesel, and there are a lot of job opportunities for diesel mechanics. So Philip, you've got a certificate 3 in diesel, isn't it?
That's correct, yes.
So can you explain to our students what this course is and what are the opportunities available after this
Right,
course,
so
with your experience?
Again, it's like all things, there's specialisation. So
Yes.
obviously you've got your general mechanic, which would work on normal household cars, etc. The diesel starts to cross that divide between light vehicles and commercial vehicles. So when you start to see delivery trucks or the bigger trucks, etc., they're all
Yes.
diesel. So that's what that starts to come into, and it's considered a little bit more specialist area.
Yes.
And obviously there's a skill shortage in that.
There is,
hence,
we all know that.
and hence why it's a little bit different, the training which occurs, because it's much more specialised, because it's
Yes.
that, and a lot of colleges don't have the facilities for that, and so and that's hence why there's a skill shortage for that. So
Yes.
we're qualified to deliver light vehicle, heavy vehicle, and also diesel.
Okay.
And so that allows students to take those options, and it provides opportunities for more secure employment.
Yes.
And because the courses are also there's things are embedded, we can
Yes.
actually fast track that. If someone's already got that qualification, then they can get the diesel, or they can just study the diesel as a standalone. We've got some students coming through at the moment who, in a 2.5 year course, will complete their certificate 3 in light vehicle, their certificate 3 in diesel, and their certificate 3 in heavy commercial.
Wow. So you
And-
got all the trades
Yep,
in one course.
in one course. And when you walk into, or when you go for a job, that's
There
what,
you go.
you've got a little bit of everything
preferred.
there.
You are a preferred applicant. But also, I was going to touch base on this, that there are a lot of students out there who have completed their certificate 3 and certificate 4 in light vehicle.
Yep.
And they have enjoyed the benefits of a 485 visa, which is a post-study work visa. If your visa is coming to an end, you might be looking to go back on a student visa to spend more time as a student in Australia. This might be a very good option for you guys, that you could enhance your skills, as a matter of fact, and go back to studying diesel again in the same industry, which gives motivation for yourself to enhance your skills, and also gives you a better chance to get a student visa approved again, because you want to enhance your skill rather than going out there and studying a diploma of business or leadership and management, which creates a risk there when you're applying for a new student
that's a
visa.
very good point, because it's viewed as it is an enhancement.
Yes.
Because it's still within the same industry,
Same
and you're getting better experience, and there's a need for it. Where if you suddenly go, well, I'm going to go and study a different
subject area altogether,
then people say, but why? But if you've shown that commitment to that trade and that industry, then it can be very beneficial. Yes.
So if you are looking to enhance your skills with a diesel course, Oceania has an excellent offer for you guys, which is you can upgrade your education with a diesel mechanic for only $5,000, and you could probably do it in what duration do you think they can upgrade their qualification to a diesel?
If they've already got the certificate
you'd
be probably looking at 6 months.
6 months. So if you want to reapply for your student visa, you can add a diesel qualification and a diploma of automotive for another $9,500. So club it together, you could be looking at spending $14,000, and you can get another 1.5 year visa to study the same trade, and it will be looked upon as enhancing your skill and qualification in the same industry. So if you are out there and you are struggling to get into a permanent visa, and you want to see if you have an option to study again in Australia, and you're already in Australia on a bridging visa or a 485 visa, so get in touch with us again. The numbers are listed below and our details are there, so more than welcome to give us a call and arrange a free consultation with myself or one of my team members here and discuss your scenario. And we can always get in touch with Philip at any time to discuss your particular case-by-case scenario. So looking at your qualification, he can do an assessment, how much time you need to spend again on enhancing your education.
I think that's a very good point, because everybody's different.
Yes.
Everybody's got different life experiences, everybody's studied differently. So I would always say to any potential applicants, contact yourself, Mickey.
Yes, thank
so
you.
I say, look, this is what I want to do, this is that. Then you can come and talk to me, and if needs be, we can get a video hookup individually with that applicant, that student, and we can work out what works for them and what they want to do. So we don't try and work on a one size fits all. We don't want to put people in a box. This is about you treating them individually, looking after them, and making sure their journey and their study experience in Australia is absolutely fantastic.
You're more than welcome to give a visit to one of their campuses in Brisbane. It's an amazing campus. You get to see the students working on cars, live trucks, diesel sports cars. What's your address there in Brisbane, Philip?
In Brisbane, it's 110 Beatty Road, over near at Archerfield there, 110 Beatty Road. In Sydney, it's number 1 Fitzwilliams Street in Parramatta. And on the Gold Coast, excuse me, it's 9 Bay Street.
9 Bay Street on the Gold Coast. As you heard, guys, now we want to discuss firsthand. We want to get a view from Philip. He's had many hundreds and thousands of students pass through Oceania College. You've seen it all. You've been there since 2014, and you've been leading the industry in the automotive industry. You've had your experience. So from your past experience, can you share with us the job opportunities and the salary ranges of your students who have actually studied from Oceania and went out in the industry and found a job?
Look, I'll give you some examples over the last 18 months, okay?
That's
because
what I'd love to
there's
hear.
many there. So we had and it doesn't really matter where someone comes from, but what sticks in my head is I had a Sri Lankan student around about 16, 17 months ago, and he was at my office door every day saying, I need to finish my qualification, I need to finish my qualification. And I'm saying, but hey, we're going to need to be careful here, because if you don't do the 2 years, it's going to affect your visa. He had we'd got him a job at one of the local dealerships. One of the mechanics there had moved on to a new job, and as they do, and of course he had with his friends. So while he was still a student, Mercedes-Benz took him on.
Wow.
With the viewpoint of the day after you finish your qualification, we'll employ you full time.
Wow.
And that's where he is now.
Wow.
So that's one. Another couple have gone to BMW. In Sydney, one of my trainers, after 20 years at BMW, moved across to Oceania to become one of the trainers, one of the lecturers.
So you got BMW trainers.
Yep. And BMW, under their warranties and that, had some engines, etc. So they just donated engines and automatic transmissions. So the students,
to the college.
So the students are
for the
working
students
on
to work on.
that. So let me just tell you how that works. What actually happens is we split the workshop into zones to take care of the different components and what the students are learning. So in January and July we go out and buy new cars. So when the students start, they understand how the car operates and so on. But you can appreciate when an engine's in a car, it's very difficult for a student to look around it. And so we actually lift those engines out and put them onto stands. And so when we've got sort of workbenches, and so every student has that piece of equipment in front of them. And depending on how large, so when it's an engine, two students work in pairs. When it's a starter motor, if I've got 15 students in the class, it's 15 starter motors, and everybody does it individually. So it's real hands-on. It's not 15 people watching and one person turning the spanner. Everything's...
What else can you ask for when you're going to a professional college to study automotive? You got hands-on experience, you got practical knowledge, you actually work on the motors and independently yourself, and you got trainers coming out of BMW. And you got job opportunities with BMW or Mercedes in Australia. And what kind of salary ranges do you think they expect after completing a course like this?
Right. Because we have different states in Australia.
Yes.
Sydney's a little bit more expensive to live, so the wages are a little higher. Mm-hmm. But what we find, and you can look this up on Seek and Google yourself, so you don't have to take my word for it. But a mechanic in Brisbane, and let's say, it all comes down to the experience they've got as well, but a mechanic normally in Brisbane a starting salary would be somewhere between 75 and 85,000. In Sydney, it tends to be
a little bit more.
80,000 to probably 95,000. Panel beaters in Sydney, starting price is 90,000. The average salary in Sydney for a panel beater is somewhere between 90,000 and 105,000.
$100,000 in salary after graduating as a panel beater, and we have this course option available with Oceania. So that's the future you're looking at. Just remember this face, Philip, if you don't find a job. That was a joke.
But again, and I would say to everybody out there, key in going to Seek, key in a region.
There are a lot of job opportunities
and
available.
Key in motor mechanic, and you'll see it. And you can do that all around Australia. And and obviously from a visa perspective as well, if people want to go rural, there's still employment opportunities, and of course that can give you different options on your migration pathways as well.
Yes, absolutely. We can discuss that, all migration pathways with our students. If you are interested, get in touch with us. Thank you very much, Philip, for having a great session here live with Mickey. And before we go, I just want to ask you about the new amazing promotion that you have going on for your new Gold Coast campus for the full course, 2 years. Do you want to break the news to our students?
Absolutely, because it's a new campus, we want to celebrate the opening of that, and we always be like, no, we're very happy, we want to make everybody happy, so we've come up with a special opening promotion, which will extend to everybody watching this today, of a 2-year program for $19,000.
Isn't that amazing? So $19,000 for a 2-year course in Australia on the Gold Coast. Take the opportunity. Get in touch with us on Cirrus Migration. Thank you very much, Philip, for coming today.
Pleasure.
And all the viewers out there, please leave your comments for any questions that you might have, and I'll see you next week.
Thanks very much, Mickey.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.